Hi, everyone. This is Marilyn Bradford, and I would like to welcome you to my Left Turn podcast. What is your left turn? Writing a blog, parenting in a different way, letting go of the old because you are aware of something greater. Left turns are choices we can all make. It's about a willingness to step into the unknown in any area of your life, to trust yourself, to risk creating or trying something new. It's about letting your true uniqueness shine. The greatest people who have lived, artists, statesmen, writers, explorers, musicians, have all been people willing to turn left. What capacities do you have that you have not acknowledged? What would your life and the world be like if you were willing to turn left? Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Left Turn podcast. I have an absolutely amazing woman as my guest today, Kass Thomas. It's really kind of hard to know where to begin. She's been everywhere and done everything. I think I could just say that kind of, including lots of global, international work. I had this big paper with with kind of a resume, and it's like organized international film festivals and distribution, degrees all over the place, now living in Italy with her husband. She initiated the first access classes in Italy and mostly Europe, and did a lot with translation. And truly, I don't think there's a topic that you haven't touched in your life, Kass. And it's just a real treat and a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure. That's how they say it in
Pleasure.
South Africa.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to be
A
here.
pleasure
A
to have
pleasure
you.
with you. And we've been
Well,
around the world together. Yeah.
yes, exactly. We were just reminiscing about times we had in Rome and times we had in Costa Rica. She has a wonderful, what is the name of your Airbnb in Rome or whatever?
Bellino Corbelli.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
delightful. I've been there. So if Kass pops up anywhere doing anything, I highly recommend you join her. That's what I would say. She does classes, private sessions, coaching, all kinds of things. So Kass, you are kind of like a walking left turn in a lot of ways. What have been some of the biggest left turns in your life?
I love that. I guess I gotta say, every time when you say it, it is a vibration that opens up,
Cool.
right? And so thank you for that. The left turns in your life. One of the things we were talking about it before, but right or left, good or bad, right? Sometimes we always think we need to go the right way,
Yeah.
right? Not just go right to the
Mhm.
right, but go the right way. And so
Yes.
I love asking, connecting with your body and asking your body. Sometimes we're doing it so mentally, and asking your body, which is connected with the whole universe because of all those molecules and cells and water and air. And so truth. Do I go right or do I go left? Oh, left is actually light. Okay, I'll go right. I'll go left and see who you see, what you see, who sees you, what sees you, and what is the new, not only approach to life, I rarely say that, but that's what showed up, that making a different turn can offer you, invite you to, and you can be the invitation to. So, there's no right or wrong, as we say in access consciousness, right? There's no good or bad. It's what in the moment works for you. And this just came up for me, Amori. Let me just tell you this. What came up for me is sometimes if we want to, we want to go left, we want to go left. But sometimes if you are willing to ask the body and the body says go right, how many left exits will show up when you go right?
That's wonderful.
You're downloading this to me. That's good.
That
I love
is so
that.
cool. I never thought about that.
Yes, because sometimes there's only one route, there's only one line, but you know, don't exclude the possibilities, even if you're accompanying somebody to the right. Just taking a step beyond your wildest imagination.
Wow. Well, you've got so many left turns in your bio. Which of them really stand out for you?
You know, when I was 8 years old, when six, you know that tune. Before you're 6 or 7 or 8, you have to hate all the people your relatives hate. You have to be taught, carefully taught, right?
Oh,
So that's a
yes.
very interesting, yeah, 6 or 7 or 8, right? I remember my
Yeah.
mom, had said something to me when I was 6 about, don't say that to your dad and your grandfather. I asked, hey, yeah, you guys drunk? And she like said, don't say that. And I was like, what's the matter? It's not I now I would say it's not a judgment. It's just an awareness. But when I was 8 in elementary school, there was a woman in Boston in Roxbury who would write on the board every morning, "Good morning, today is Monday," in French. "Bonjour, aujourd'hui est lundi. Bonjour, aujourd'hui est mardi." She would so from September to June every day. And I remember when in June I had turned 9, and I said to myself, one day I'm going to go to Paris and I'm going to learn French. But I
Wow.
didn't necessarily remember that, right? But when I
Right.
went to, middle school and high school, I studied French, and my dad was like, "Why are you studying French? Spanish is going to be the second language in this country, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Well, everybody's going to be speaking it," he said. Well, I said, "If everybody's going to be speaking it, I'll be speaking it, but I would really love to learn French." So what is that left turn, right? With the French instead of the right turn with the Spanish immediately. And when I they wanted me to go to university in Boston. Harvard University had invited me for free. I wanted a little bit more, Marilyn. I wanted, Boston's lovely. I love it. It's my hometown. But I wanted a little bit more. It's only like 650,000 people. And so I applied to New York, and I went to New York University. Oh, 10 million people there. And my
Wow.
girlfriend in the first year, she said, "Hey, have you ever thought about going to Paris?" She said to me, "Because we can do our third year abroad in Paris."
Wow.
Go to Paris. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. That's not even quote unquote why I came here, right?" But actually, and we went to Paris for the third year in university. And my mom came to visit for her birthday, and we did the American thing: 2 days in Spain, 2 days in the south of France,
Yeah.
2 days in Rome. And Rome, when I was standing near the Colosseum, I had never felt that kind of vibration in my feet coming up from the earth. I was like, I think
Wow.
I've been here. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much of a vibe here. So I kept coming down every 2 weeks on the train from Paris to Rome. I met this guy, and I was like to my dad, "Hey, Dad, I think I would like to stay here for a year. Then I'll go back to New York and finish college." And my dad said, "Look, you take your black ass back to New York, you finish your college, and then you can go anywhere you want, but you have to finish college." So I went back there. I married somebody else for 10 years, and
Yes, we do.
amazing family, that I'm still connected with. And 6 months after I left him, this guy I liked in Italy came for a wedding in New York, and we met
Wow.
up again. And so that's what is right about that. And that's why I was asking, the gal that introduced me to him when I was in college in Paris. I moved here. She left after 2 years. Karen Jones. And I was like, oh my gosh, she left after 2 years. Then she came back and she kept saying, how does it get any better than that? What else is possible? How does it get any better than that? What else is
Mm.
possible? It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on with this girl? And she said, this is access consciousness. I've got it in Florida. Just try it. How does it get any better than that? What else is possible? And so I did play with that. When I went to a hotel and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we overbooked. We don't have your room." I said, "How does it get any better than that?" And they said, "What?" I said, "How does it get any better than that?" Well, your room is busy for tonight, but we can give you the suite for tonight. And you can get, I said, "Oh my gosh, what else is possible?" What? What else is possible? Well, we'll give you champagne and we'll gift you the suite tonight. I called her. I said,
I
"Okay,
love it.
okay, give me two more, give me some more questions, okay?" And so that's going to Paris, maybe. Even though the girl I was working at the hotel, Ritz Carlton in New York, I didn't know. She didn't tell me. She did invite me to different spiritual things and stuff like that. I had hired her to do massage to people in the hotel. Um, but years later, she told me she had done an access class,
Wow.
and it was one of Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, one of his first classes in New York. She had gone there. So what is it that we keep moving to the right, doing the right thing, moving to the right, that if we're willing to look to the left, who or what do we see? So I might have met Gary back in New York. Maybe I wouldn't have moved, but I did say to him when I went in there, to my level 2 and 3, choice for possibilities, and then my certificate in 2006. I said, "Look, Gary, can I get you to, to Italy?" So maybe that was a gift. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, that is.
And how did I, and now I met you. Hello.
Right.
How, what is it that going to the left, Dad said the right way is Spain, is in Spanish, or Mexico. Going to
Hmm.
the left to Paris, and then coming on to Rome, and inviting consciousness throughout the world in different languages.
Yes. That's so important, those languages. And you really were seminal in starting that up. And I was at the class, I was at a facilitators in Rome where they would say something and you would translate.
Yes.
Yeah. And now we have like 14 languages and being simultaneously translated for people in
Exactly.
classes. It's amazing.
And there was when their first times being translated, so they would talk, 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 and then it'd be like, "Oops, sorry, go ahead and translate." And that, but thank you for that right and left thing, because a lot of times if we are looking to the right and trying to be right and
Yes,
remember everything say mentally, if they're talking for 10 minutes, you won't. But going
right.
to the left, opening up universally, then you get the download.
Yes.
So the translation was actually mm, not on the
Cognitive.
right, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was, yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So going left is cognitive. It allows you to be more cognitive. I like that.
Or let, depends. I don't, but one thing I notice, and you haven't really stated this, Cass, but you trust yourself. You trust your knowing. And that's to me so much what left turns are about, or any turns are about, is trusting not what the external world says, whether it's parents or community or whatever it is, but trusting what you know to be true for you. Can you say more about that? Were you always that way?
Yes, it's interesting the word trusting. Um, what my my first book, The 7 Steps to Flawless Communication, right? It's in 20
Yeah.
languages, so like. But one of the tags I have in there is that you cannot get you wrong.
Oh, that's
No,
great.
none of us can get us wrong. There is
Uh-huh.
no one there is no one on the planet who does you better than you. So when you're connected with yourself, then it's not like you're thinking you're right. If you're connected with yourself, the vibe, right, is what you're doing. It may not be at the moment in line with someone else. So it's not thinking you're right. It's knowing that you're in line with your vibe, you know?
Oh, I love
Does
that.
that make
That,
sense?
yes, it
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
I may steal it.
And the
Being,
third, the
yeah,
third thing is there's so much more that unites us than
yeah.
separates us. There is so much more that unites us than separates us. So if someone is saying you're wrong or you're feeling like something's strange, what is it that I, up until now, have not been seeing or looking
Oh,
at? And so you're not making you wrong and going down and being so concentrated and going down. You're like, let me look at them from different perspectives. Let me look at this from different perspectives. Let me go to the left and have a look at this from different perspectives so that maybe I can actually, not even maybe, I can see it in a different way. That's step uh, s- um, 5 of the 7 steps is expand your zone. And in the book, I do the energy flows, which are amazing.
amazing.
Um, amazing. And sometimes when we're trying to, think cognitively, those energy flows, for example, I remember when my husband and I came back from traveling and he was like, listen, this is something going on with the website and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pull the energy, pull the energy.
Mhm.
I was great at pulling the energy, but it didn't work. And I was like, oh my goodness, I always pull the energy and it's working. And I said, I'm pulling the energy. And it was light because, um, yeah, I'm pulling the energy because he's, pushing. No. Oh, no, no, he's pulling the energy. Poor thing, he's missed me. I haven't been here for a while. Of course. And then I started flowing the energy. Marilyn, not in 5 seconds, not in 4 seconds, in 3 seconds. He started saying, now you are doing it perfectly. It's not about you. And I was like, I wanted to laugh, but I didn't want him to, say, I was like, oh, really? Really? Oh, yes. No, 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 you're perfect. So seeing things from different perspectives, I love that going to the left as opposed to the right way. Oh, of course, I can do it the right way. Going to the left and seeing people from different perspectives. And that's in the step 5. Engage with the universe and see things and people from different perspectives. When you reconnect with yourself, then you can reconnect with others in a very different way.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and you
That's
cannot get
beautiful.
you wrong.
I love that. Yeah. I learned that different perspective from being a psychotherapist for years. It was like, oh, they see this way. Oh, she sees it that way. Oh, it's like, okay, there isn't one right way to see pretty much anything.
Exactly. And that's what we were saying about how is it from this lifetime or another
Yeah.
lifetime that they're
Yes.
continuing
Yeah.
that right turn, you know? And
Yeah.
so what is it that in this time of the year, in this time of the planet that we would like to invite so that if and when we leave, we're opening the door to come back if we choose.
Yes. I have an
And
odd
I've got to
request.
say that yes, please.
Go ahead, please finish your sentence.
I get that one of the, um, not reasons, but the invitations to come back, to come forward to the planet was so that I could meet again Gary Douglas.
Ha, I like that.
I
Yeah.
said that to Gal in in Turkey. Years ago, she came. She was the uh, wife of one of the presidents here and stuff. And she was asking me, how are you? I was like, oh, my body loves it here. Oh, my body's so happy. She said, you keep talking about your body. And I said, yeah. She said, well, if your body chooses to leave, would you come back? I said, thank you so much for asking that.
That's an interesting.
I said, yeah, isn't it? It was amazing. It was amazing conversation. And I said, if what the contribution I can be and receive would be greater with me physically present here, then yes, I would. And that made me, just done a 3-day body class here. And I said, and I'm so grateful that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, chose to be physically present here on planet Earth at
Yeah.
this time. Because yes, the consciousness, we are infinite beings. So, so we can get
Yeah.
what I mean? The consciousness, if we're willing to, invite it and have access to it. However, when someone like that is physically present, then you can't just keep going to the right, going to the right, going to the right, then look to the left, and you see something greater than most people are able, willing, or ready to see.
Yes.
And what is that?
Yes. I was just at El Lugar in Costa Rica at Gary's Choice for Possibilities class, and you're just being in his presence was amazing. I hadn't been in a class live for a while. There are people who
I went in December. I went in December to Houston for the advanced body
body
class.
class.
I
How
hadn't been to
lovely.
Houston. I don't know if I've ever been to Houston actually, but I went to the advanced body class with Gary and Grace, and
Grace.
oh, and there were so many people that I had seen over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good that you went to El Lugar. It's a little easier for you in the
Oh,
States. You have
yes.
to go
It is.
down.
Yes,
It's
it's quite easy from where I live,
yeah,
and Europe is
yeah,
not easy. So are you doing a lot of classes these days, Cass?
yes, yes. Since COVID, it was interesting that, a lot of things online and then,
Yeah.
2 years of not really traveling and then, a year of not really traveling. However, I have reactivated or been reactivated. Let me introduce you to yourself. I believe you two have never really met. If you take a little time to get acquainted, you can settle all your differences, I bet. Now the two of you are related, don't you know? Why don't you both take hands and meet on common grounds? You can be the best version of you if you're willing to go around. Introduce you to yourself. Step 1, demonstrate your magic. Be proud to be unique. Step 2, converse with your body. Listen closely when it speaks. Step 3, lower your barriers and your vision will expand. Step 4, go beyond the veil, shed your mask and take a stand. Step 5, engage with the universe, open yourself to new perspectives. Step 6, expand your comfort zone, the possibilities are endless. Step 7, connect with the earth, be a part of the beauty, enjoy the sensations. These are the 7 steps to flawless communication. These are the 7 steps to flawless communication. These are the 7 easy steps to flawless communication. Flawless, flawless, flawless. Communicate with you, and your communication with others can and will be flawless.
Well, Cass, thank you so much. And anybody listening to this, I highly, highly recommend you check out Kass's website. And if you can, get to one of her classes because she's an amazing facilitator. So I just want to say thank
Takes
you.
one to know one. It takes one to know one, darling. With your amazing trainings, yes. And some things online, the right voice for you is really amazing too. So it's a lot
Yeah.
online. And I would love to see you sooner or later.
Well, I think that's a great idea.
Yes,
Let's make
yes.
it
I love
sooner
you
sometime.
for
I'm going to look at those body
reason.
classes in Italy. I'd love
Yes.
to go to Rome again. So
Oh la la. All roads lead to Rome, darling.
that's true.
Yes, yes. So yeah, and also India, all over the world, there's lots of things going on. So
Yes.
let us know when and where you will be and what you'll
Uh,
be doing, and maybe we could play together. That would be awesome.
oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for joining this episode of Left Turn. I wonder what embracing left turns could create in your life. What magical possibilities might show up. Remember, when you choose left turns, you are joining a group of the most creative and brilliant people the world has ever known.